Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This is the start to, I guess, a new series, but today I'm going to go through the steps on pretty much how to make a Pāpale launiu. Pāpale is hat in Hawaiian, and then launiu is pretty much the material that we're using today. So today we're weaving out of coconut fronds. Coconut fronds are the best to use and pretty much the only material that I use to weave hats, mainly because coconut fronds have that yellow spine on the other side right there, and that yellow spine helps keep your hat, kind of gives it shape. So I pretty much shave the entire inside of the frond so that it's pliable enough to turn it into this circle. Here I am creating these two tiny little notches like so. Just have to be very careful with this part. I just use this little hand knife, and you're gonna tie your two ends together, so those two little notches will help keep this string in place. I wrap about 5 to 7 times in each notch just so that it's secure. As you're wrapping, you just want to make sure that you're pulling super tight, that way it doesn't come out or move when you're weaving. And then when you get to the end, I just tie a little knot and then cut off the excess. And now we're gonna start weaving. This is the fun part. So you can start anywhere. I always start on my right side. Basically just gonna take one, bend it like the L, under, over, under, over, under. Today we're making a medium brim Pāpale, so we're only doing under, over 5. If you want a full in-depth video on how to make a Pāpale launiu, I do have a full in-depth tutorial on my channel. I'll link it in the description below. So you're basically going to do the same pattern until you go around full circle. Bend like an L, yellow spine always facing outwards, under, over, under, over, under. And then when you get to the end, same exact pattern, bend like an L, under, over, under, over, under. You're still gonna do under, over 5. You're just gonna weave back into the beginning and use those little loops that you created and still do your under, over 5. So we're pretty much just closing the circle or finishing the circle, but you're still doing under, over 5 different fronds. So after you have that step down, that part was pretty much weaving the bottom brim part of your Pāpale. This next step should be the easiest. You're pretty much just going to pull each frond inwards towards the middle of the circle until you close all those big gaps and pukas that you see in the brim of your Pāpale. If you can see any part through it, that means you just have to keep going, keep tightening. And I just start anywhere. You just go round and around and around until you don't have any holes in your brim. This part is probably the most tedious part. You're gonna go around, I would say, close to 20, 30, 40 times, and you're slowly just gonna inch the fronds inwards and tightening this bottom part of your brim. You want to make sure that you go super tight, that way there is no holes, you get the full protection. And also when your hat dries, the fronds will actually get smaller, so your holes will get bigger. So you want to make sure you go as tight as possible for that part. Now we're going to build the band, so the top part of your hat. I just cut the ends off so that way it's easier to tuck when you start weaving. Wearing my cute little romper from Active by Teal. Check them out, Active by Teal on Instagram, activebyteal.com. So now we're building the top part of your hat. This part you grab 4, do your under, over, under 3, and then you tuck. So this same thing as the bottom, you're gonna do the same exact pattern until you go around full circle. This part, you should have 4 different fronds in your hand. You're gonna do under, over 3, and then tuck under that little frond right there. It's best to go loose and then tighten towards the end. This part, you just want to make sure you get your weave down before you start tightening the top. And then same thing as the bottom, you're still going to do under, over 3. Even once you run out of the fronds, you're just going to use those beginning loops that you created to pretty much finish the circle. This part is probably the hardest part. It'll get pretty tedious and the spaces will get smaller. But if you want a full in-depth tutorial on this part, make sure to check out our tutorial video. And then once you're done with your weave, same thing as the bottom, you're just going to tighten this top portion, same thing until you have no holes. And then once you're done with that part, you're just going to tuck that frond under one more other part of the hat, just so that it's secure. Just make sure everything is flat. And it should be the frond right in front of the first tuck that you did when we were building the top. You're just going to go around full circle, tuck under one more frond. Just helps keep your hat secure and make sure that it doesn't unravel at any point. And here is the final product. Look at how beautiful that day was. Super windy, but we still had a finished hat. There we go. This is an open top, Pāpale, so pico ole. Let us know what type of tutorial you want to see next. We're going to try to film at different locations, but you can find us on Instagram, Coco Kealohi. Website is cocokealohi.com. We're also on TikTok, Coco Kealohi, and my personal Instagram is Teal Kealohi. Thanks for watching.